Hello again, I'm Mark. Welcome back to Three Bridges, my layout in the loft, and a cacophony of advertisement, I suppose. Anyway, what's this all about? So this is part of the summer little project I'm doing, DIRFT as I call it. So I am downstairs. I've got the board I showed in the last one on some legs in the model room, and I'm just trying out, I suppose, the arrangement I want to have for the main freight yard at DIRFT. So I just pull back a bit. The board's just under 2 foot wide, so it's about 55 centimeters. So at the front, I've got my West Coast up and down lines, and they're going to have to come right to the front of the board. I then have 2 lines in the yard, and then I need space basically for the freight unloading and stacking. So I've tried to go for as maximum area I can get away with. But the reach stacker seems to have sufficient room there to make it realistic. And then I'm going to have the highest stacks you see at DIRFT are 4 containers high, so just to give you some idea of the height they need to go to. And then the East Coast line just sort of nips around the back. More about that later on that end. And then the last thing I've been having a bit of a play around is, obviously being a yard, I need to have a concrete base slab covering the yard for all the vehicles. So with the track up on cork, I just need to use some of this black foam, and then 2mm card will bring everything up to the right height, and then a 2mm insert between the rails. So I think that's going to work okay. So it's worth just explaining. Those who follow the channel probably know, but I don't fix my track permanently for about a year. I just let it settle in the loft because the sort of loop round is about 22 meters. I just want the expansion joints to just settle, and then I will pin everything, fixing the track in the summer on the hottest days, so that I'm fairly confident that I'm not going to get any warpage distortion when it gets really hot. However, because this board is just 1.8 meters long, and there's literally, for my East Coast West Coast lines, there's just one join between the 2 lengths of track, I will fix it, and that allows me to ballast it, and I don't need to worry about this section once it goes back in the loft, because this is the starting point for the rest of the level, and it does allow me to do a bit more on the scenics than I would normally have achieved. Well, it's been a productive couple of hours, so track's fixed and running okay. This is the West Coast line, and then the freight yard track is in, and I'm just sort of working on the concrete pad. So I started fixing the concrete slabs around the yard, and I've sprayed them up in, so I do an initial coat in this sort of chalky finish, furniture paint, which for me gives a sort of light concrete, and then from there I'll be able to darken up as I get into the detail. So, and about half the yard is now fixed. I'm just waiting for a bit more paint to finish off the far end, and then I've also started on the ballast for the West Coast lines. So again, I'm just trying to go for it looking a lot darker as it does. I'll put up an image later on of a shot down the tracks where you can see the different sort of tones of ballast that you get. But it's very dark compared to the yard throat, which obviously has newly laid ballast and very sort of clean grey. Anyway, the good weather is the mini heat wave we're having over here. Gave me plenty of time this weekend to get on and do stuff. As you come into the yard, there's a bit of greenery at the end. It's just going to be sort of the start of the fields, countryside around. So just a hint of some green foliage, but again, that's only first layer put down.